See, we wear shorts, but I'm not out here with open-toed shoes.
Yeah, I'm regretting this decision.
How's everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm ready when you are.
Bruce Irvin said the other day that swagger and confidence is the key to the defense's resurgence. Do you see that too?
Absolutely. That swagger and that confidence comes when guys get more and more comfortable with everything that they're asked to do. And again, the communication, learning each other and things of that nature. So I would agree with that statement.
Did it start in Arizona or did it start in New Orleans?
I would say that it's been a growing process, obviously. And then sometimes in order to get to where you want to get to, and we're still growing. So I don't want to make it sound like anything's a finished product, but you got to take lumps along the way. And I would say that sometimes the failure is your best learning experience. It humbles you, and you kind of get the big picture. And guys were always, they've been working through this process, but I would say that the finishing result of that first game against Arizona and then starting this whole process, it helped start the confidence, of where guys kind of see the big picture of what we're trying to get done.
Talked about Shelby Harris's tackle on third down where he tripped up Daniel Jones. That's one you guys have highlighted a bunch. As a defensive line guy yourself, how much do you appreciate when the big guys make those hustle plays?
Make a huge deal about it. When the big men get out the sack, we call them stack monsters. When the stack monsters get out and they're running and they're playing hard, there's no excuse for anybody else on the field to ever have a loaf. Everybody should be hauling tail to the ball. And Shelby doing that, and obviously him being new to us, he's a veteran player, he's established, but him coming in and doing that, and adapting, that's our style. It's big time. We really appreciate that. It was excellent, so big time play.
Clint, you guys have been the best defense in the league over the last 3 weeks. If I asked you just simply, why do you think that is? What would be the things you point to?
Commitment from the players. The guys on the staff continue to just keep coaching hard, keep coaching the details, but obviously it starts with the players. The buy-in from those guys, they never wavered. Obviously everyone was miserable. Our fans were miserable, our coaches, our players. That was not up to the expectation of any of us, but you can go one of two ways. You can point the finger and blame and say, well, this person's not doing this, coach is not doing this, or this player's not doing that. That's not what it's about. We're all in this thing together and stay collective, like together as a unit. You can hold people accountable, but still understand that, listen, it's all of us together. We'll fight our way through it. And to see guys do that, like I said, the end result of that is just you see the unity in it, the confidence that it builds, and just continue to get better, and see where it goes from there.
What's it like for you personally, being a first-time defensive coordinator, to have those early struggles before you turned it around? How hard did you take that?
I mean, obviously frustrated and pissed off, to say the least. But on the other side of it, I know this. I've been through a lot harder things in personal life. So going through some tough issues in football, we just got to keep coaching our way through it, keep on battling, continue to show the support of the players. Hey, listen, I'm with you, and we're all in this thing together, and collectively we'll get it done. So even though it's frustrating, you can't go in the tank. There was too much football left to play, and you just continue to persevere and keep on pushing. So that was my mindset.
You have a lot of veterans on that defensive line. How much did you have to listen to what they had to say as to what was the right move to make these changes to find success?
A lot of it is just all your players, not just the D-line, but whether it's Quandre, Justin Coleman, whoever they may be, guys come up and they may have questions, and certain things that they see on film, schematically, some shots they like to take. And I think it's your responsibility as a coaches, like say, to tell them, here's why this is a great idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and put this into the plan. Or this is maybe not the right week to do that, and here's why. But you definitely have an open ear and you listen. You want to make sure players are heard, and then obviously you got to show them where things fit, and how they can be applied, or maybe this is not the right time. But just to hear those guys out, and they all know me, obviously being with them for a number of years already, to give them their ops. I got no issue with it because obviously it always starts up front. When they're playing at a high level, it makes everyone else's job that plays on the second and third level of the defense easier to get that done. So, like I said, when they do that, cut them loose and play.
When you did cut them loose, Clint, how much is that resembling more of what you did previous years? Maybe some of the players have been here a couple of years. It's more familiar than maybe September was.
Yeah, I mean, the techniques, the thing about it is, like, when we talk about cutting them loose, all the techniques that they have learned in previous years are the same, from various alignments. I would just say because we were playing more split safety and things of that nature, it required them to do more often things that maybe they weren't most comfortable doing. And then so obviously it's just working a way around that and say, okay, if we're going to adjust in this facet, then we have to adjust somewhere else so we don't get hurt. I don't want to go into details and try to tip things off to other future opponents, but it all went hand in hand to go and just put your players in the best position to go and play and hear them out. So, like I said, it's worked out well.
When it comes to Arizona, there's a lot of newness for them on the offensive line. You've got Hopkins back. Have you noticed a change in their style? Because I think they're huddling more now than they ever have with Kingsbury.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting calls into the huddle. The tempos still vary. You got to be ready. The easiest thing to do is anticipate no huddle, because that's the hardest thing to acclimate to. Anticipate it, and if the game slows down, then it makes it easier for us. But you go in with the mindset that it's going to be difficult. They're going to be on the ball quickly. You got to get the calls in fast to the guys and be aligned and ready to go play. But their tempos have varied more than what they've had, but they still go pretty fast, in my opinion, and the players feel that way too, which is obviously that's the most important part. How does it feel to them on the field as the game is going?
How much different are they with Hopkins out there?
Well, it's a world of difference. You're talking one of the premier receivers in the National Football League. So he's definitely a threat. I believe he's got 22 targets in his first 2 games, so they're going to make it a point to get him the football. So you got to definitely, give him the attention that he deserves and requires.
Mike Jackson, excuse me, go ahead, Jim.
I was going to say, Pete's talked about the new technique or the new emphasis on forcing fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what that is and how you teach it different?
Yes, I mean, so I think people have seen in the past where you see guys just randomly taking punches at the football, but not going to make sure they wrap and tackle the ball carrier, which is not the correct way to go about doing that. There's 2 points of emphasis. One is if you're the sole guy going in for the tackle, we call punch tackling. So you can come in and go wrap up the ball carrier, near foot, near shoulder, so you're striking through the ball carrier. But as you're going to wrap up, you're going to punch through, punch down on the football. Generally, when the football players carry the football, there's a pocket of space underneath. So as you come in to wrap up, you're still wrapping up with your outside or adjacent arm and punch it through on the football. So you can still wrap up and get the player down if the ball doesn't come out. You see great illustrations of that with Kobe on every one that he's forced. Jordan's forced fumble on Eckler in the Chargers game. That's been the big point. And the other one is if you're the second man in on a tackle. So there might be a situation where you're coming in and you go wrap the legs of a ball carrier, where a guy is most vulnerable to fumble the ball is on his way down. Normally what you do is when you go to fall is you can put a hand down to brace the fall. It's as opposed to locking the football up. So the second man in that's coming in can come in and take a shot at the football at it, as opposed to worried about just jumping on the pile, go get the ball out, because obviously that's what we want at the end of the day. So those are the big 2 points of emphasis on continuing to try to force the football out, doing well numbers-wise, but we want more.
How have you seen Cody Barton play these last few weeks, kind of with the changes with what you're doing up front, and obviously his roles maybe changed a little bit?
Cody's been solid. He's been doing a good job. Like I said, really good in the passing game. I know he wished he would have made the pick at the end of the game on Sunday. So always really aware and understanding what's going on conceptually with the pass game. And in the run game, he's made his strides and gotten better too. We just want him to continue to be consistent. Do the little things consistently the right way. And but he's been solid, and we can depend on him.
What do you think of Tariq? I know they didn't have a ton of balls thrown his way last week, but what do you think of Tariq?
Again, you see some special things with him stepping and kicking, pressing at the line of scrimmage. His awareness. The biggest thing is when guys are not getting the football thrown their way, you still have to evaluate them, in detail to make sure they're not getting lazy. Because what happens when you start to relax and you think that, all right, no one's giving me any shots and whatnot, and you relax, well, next thing you know, they throw a couple balls at you, and it's those couple of balls that hurt you in the football game. But he's staying alert. He's attent what's going on, still detailed in the game plan and staying on top of things. There's some routes there that he's running the routes for receivers that we're really proud about seeing with him as a young guy. So if the ball comes his way, he'll be ready. That's what we want to see.
The first throw his way, wasn't it the play where he broke up in the red zone? That's the first ball that was
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah, that was the first shot he had at him. Yes.
Alex Johnson's been here a week and plus, so he's got experience in the scheme, has over 100 tackles in a season before. What have you seen out of him? Can he factor into your mix eventually here after what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I think he can. He's a big, strong kid, powerful. And then I think, obviously as he continues to practice and work his way in, there'll be the opportunities there. We're always about competition here. That's never going to change. So we'll see what those opportunities show up for him. But he's done a nice job since he's been here.
Clint Hurtt, just his athleticism, because I think a couple of times he was actually in pass coverage. Just what can you say about his ability to rush and cover?
He can do it all for us. He has not had the opportunity to rush the passer as frequently as, say, Channa and DT and Bruce, because he's doing a job for us on first and second down. But I would say his overall game, his awareness and pass game, his ability to rush will be on display more and more, and he's been doing an outstanding job in the run game all season long. So he has not got all the big attention plays, with the turnovers that Tariq and Kobe have created on the defensive side, but he's done really, really well. We're really pleased with where he's at right now.
Anything else?
What are you telling the rookies about facing a team for the second time?
Don't take anything for granted. There's going to be tweaks in their game plan. Obviously, coming off of what we did, you got to go back and you got to look at your film again. Even though you may have watched it 2 or 3 times, understand the successful plays that they had in their game plan. They're going to repeat those plays, but they're not going to look the same. Whether they were beating us in 3-by-1 formations, now they'll do it out of doubles and find another way to try to go and attack you. So you just got to be alert for those, and we got to have our little tweaks here and there in the scheme as well to make sure they're not on top of us. But don't take it for granted what happened in the first game. The second game is always completely different. Got great awareness, obviously, of what we both like to do. So you got to take this as a first time matchup.
Mike Jackson, Clint, he's here because of his tackling, but how has he improved in picking the ball in the air and coverage?
You say he's here for his tackling?
Well, that's what he's been telling us. He knows that's why he's there.
He's selling himself short. He's here for a lot more than that. He's been covering unbelievable. This started back in the springtime with him. I would say tackling is definitely a strong part of his game, but he can cover. I love his competitiveness, his spirit. He's nice and steady, never too high, never too low. Holds himself to a high standard. So just been really excited for him. You love to see as guys continue to grow. A lot of times when guys in this league, and we talk about it, everyone's talking about it with Geno, where you get 2, 3, 4 years in the league, and if you're not a superstar, everybody thinks, well, you're just a guy. No, you continue to develop, you continue to get better, take pride in your game, and that's what Mike Jack has done. I think he's going to continue to improve, and I'm really excited for his future.
3 years in the league, he never started a game. Does that show up in his approach and how?
Nope. Not in the least bit. He's just continue to work every single day. You never know when your opportunity is going to come, but I think it's your responsibility as a player. When that opportunity does come, you take full advantage of it, and that's exactly what he's done. So kudos to him.
Do you like that background, a guy who's come up through practice squads on 3 different teams?
I'm a big fan of any person that is never pointing the finger about, well, this person didn't do this for me or they didn't like me or any of that kind of stuff. You take it upon yourself as I'm going to make the best of this opportunity and make you can't ignore me. You can't ignore my production. You can't ignore my work ethic. You can't ignore my positivity, attitude, energy, and all those things we bring. So it doesn't matter if you're a first-round pick, fifth-round pick, or undrafted free agent. What is your mentality as a man, and what are you going to bring every single day? And guys like that are the meat and potatoes of a lot of rosters of good football teams. And those guys, they help you win a lot of football games. So we're lucky to have them.
What do you think about LJ play Sunday?
Again, solid, LJ's always going to play hard, solid and steady. I think it was, for the first time back out there. Just want to continue to see him stack up good performances.
Is there a point in the play clock when the mic between you and Jordan cuts off?
Yes, for quarterback and backer, or whoever has the green dot in the game, it's 15 seconds.
How does no huddle maybe make that harder for you guys, or just up tempo in general?
Better make sure you have a call ready. You can't be down there looking at the script and it's said hut. That's not going to work real good. You got to have a call ready.
Do you talk to Jordan up to the 15 seconds? You leave him alone to read it?
Generally leave him alone unless there's like a certain area of the field that there's, if there's something in the game plan that you notice with the opponent, you let them know on the microphone, hey, be alert for this. We're in a certain section of the field or situational football. You say, hey, just a reminder here, and then you let them go play. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's go, Art.
All right, everybody.